The Amish are known for rejecting the modern world. No phones, no internet, no technology. But behind that peaceful image, Amish women live under rules so strict and so disturbing that outsiders rarely hear the full truth. Some of these traditions are hidden on purpose, and they don't want you asking questions. Join us and let's uncover the strange secrets Amish women don't want you to know. Let's go.
Number 12. Amish clothing fasteners. No zippers allowed. Amish women's clothing contains 0 zippers. None on dresses, none on coats, none on any garment they wear. Zippers get viewed as too modern, too worldly, and too reminiscent of military uniforms. Instead, every piece of Amish clothing closes with hooks and eyes, straight pins, or snap fasteners. This creates unique challenges most modern people never consider. Getting dressed takes longer. Fastening a dozen hooks and eyes down the front of a dress requires more time and dexterity than pulling up a zipper. Straight pins must be positioned carefully to avoid stabbing yourself while allowing secure closure. The system works but demands practice and patience. Young girls struggle with these fasteners initially, learning through daily repetition until the process becomes automatic. The rejection of zippers stems from ordinance rules about avoiding modern convenience and military associations. When zippers first became popular in the early 1900s, Amish communities saw them as unnecessary innovation that would lead to adopting more worldly fashions. The decision to ban them stuck and became tradition. Hooks and eyes provide surprisingly strong closures for work clothing subjected to physical labor. The metal fasteners withstand washing, wear, and stress better than many zippers. When they break or wear out, replacement takes seconds and cost pennies. Compare that to broken zippers requiring professional repair or garment replacement. Straight pins offer adjustability that zippers can't match. As bodies change through pregnancy, weight fluctuation, or aging, pins can be repositioned for perfect fit without altering the garment itself. This extends clothing life and allows pieces to be shared between family members of different sizes. The visual impact matters too. Hooks, eyes, and pins create invisible closures that don't draw attention or add decorative elements. Zippers, especially metal ones, would create visible lines and potential ornamentation that conflicts with modesty principles. Making and maintaining this clothing stays entirely within community control. Women buy fasteners in bulk from Amish-friendly suppliers and attach them by hand during construction. This self-sufficiency ensures quality while avoiding dependence on outside manufacturing.
Number 11. Amish wedding dresses. Blue, not white. Amish brides don't wear white. They don't wear veils. They don't buy special wedding gowns that get worn once and stored forever. Instead, Amish women marry in handmade dresses colored deep blue or dark purple, created following the exact same modest patterns they wear every other day. The bride makes her own dress, often with help from her mother and sisters, using simple cotton fabric in solid colors. No lace, no beading, no trains, no decoration of any kind. The dress includes the standard cape and apron worn over the main garment, with everything fastened using hooks and eyes or straight pins instead of buttons or zippers. The whole outfit costs maybe $20 or $30 in materials. Here's the wild part. This wedding dress becomes her regular church dress afterward. She'll wear it to Sunday services, community gatherings, funerals, and special events for years or even decades. When it finally wears out, she might remake it or pass it down to daughters. The dress serves multiple purposes throughout her entire life, never sitting unused in a closet or storage box. Colors carry meaning beyond simple preference. Dark blue represents dignity and seriousness. Purple symbolizes royalty and humble form. Black sometimes gets chosen for its practicality and somber respectfulness. Bright colors, pastels, or patterns would be considered inappropriate for such a sacred occasion. The ceremony itself matches the dress in simplicity. No fancy decorations, no professional photography, no hired entertainment. The couple stands before their community in plain clothes, makes simple vows, and begins married life without fanfare or celebration focused on appearance. The bride's dress blends in with other women's clothing rather than standing out. This intentional uniformity reflects core Amish values. Marriage isn't about the bride having her special princess moment. It's about two people committing to God, each other, and community service. The dress symbolizes this by being practical, reusable, and modest, rather than extravagant, disposable, and attention-seeking.
I'm going to ask you a simple question. Are you a naturally curious person? If you're watching, I'm pretty sure the answer is yes. This space is made for people like us. To ensure you're always part of this community and receive all our latest discoveries, you just need to do one thing: subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to stay connected with us. Okay, now that you're part of our Legion of the Curious, let's move on to the next item.
Number 10. Amish Jewelry Prohibition. No wedding rings. Amish women don't wear wedding rings. They don't wear any jewelry at all. No necklaces, no bracelets, no earrings, and definitely no engagement or wedding bands. This shocks most people, since wedding rings represent such universal marriage symbols in mainstream culture. But Amish communities view all jewelry as vain adornment that violates humility principles and creates unnecessary hierarchy based on wealth or status. Marriage gets marked through other means. A woman's prayer cap might change from white to black. Her last name changes. The community knows through church announcements and shared knowledge, but no physical object on her body advertises marital status to strangers or casual observers. This creates interesting situations when Amish women interact with mainstream society. Store clerks, medical professionals, and other outsiders can't immediately identify married versus single women through typical visual markers. The absence of jewelry also means Amish couples save significant money on engagement rings and wedding bands. That money goes toward practical needs like household setup, farm equipment, or community contributions, instead of symbolic objects that serve no functional purpose. From Amish perspective, this represents wise stewardship rather than cheapness or lack of romantic gesture. The jewelry ban includes items most people wouldn't even consider jewelry. Decorative hair clips get rejected. Ornamental buttons count as jewelry and get avoided. Even functional items like watches require approval and must be extremely plain without any decorative elements. Some Amish men wear simple pocket watches for work purposes, but women rarely use timepieces at all since household rhythms follow natural daylight patterns and meal schedules rather than precise clock time. Children learn early that jewelry represents worldliness and vanity. Little girls don't receive birthday jewelry, no charm bracelets or first earrings as gifts. Boys don't get class rings or sports medals to wear. This consistent messaging from childhood through adulthood reinforces the principle that personal worth comes from faith and community contribution, not external adornment or status symbols.
Number 9. Amish garden work. Growing everything from scratch. Massive vegetable gardens get maintained that would overwhelm most modern people. These aren't cute hobby gardens with a few tomato plants. Half-acre or larger plots produce the majority of a family's yearly food supply. Every household depends on these gardens for survival, not supplemental produce. The work starts in early spring with soil preparation, planting, and constant maintenance through fall harvest. Garden planning requires strategic thinking about what the family needs, how much to plant, and succession planting to ensure continuous harvest. Food requirements get calculated for families of 10 or more people, plus extra for canning and preserving. Nobody's buying groceries weekly to fill gaps. The garden must produce enough to sustain the family through entire winters when nothing grows. Planting happens entirely by hand. No mechanized seeders or powered tillers in traditional communities. Hours get spent bent over, creating furrows, placing seeds, and covering them properly. The physical toll on backs, knees, and hands accumulates over decades of this labor. Younger women develop calluses and strength. Older women often suffer chronic pain from a lifetime of garden work. Daily maintenance includes weeding, watering, pest control, and monitoring for diseases. Weeding alone consumes hours every single day during growing season. Thousands of unwanted plants get pulled by hand throughout summer months. Chemical herbicides get avoided in most communities, making weed control entirely manual labor. Watering large gardens without modern irrigation systems means hauling countless buckets or using hand pumps. During droughts, hours might be spent daily just keeping plants alive. The physical exertion rivals gym workouts, but happens in brutal heat and humidity without breaks or choice. Harvest time intensifies the work dramatically. Everything ripens simultaneously, requiring rapid processing to avoid spoilage. Beans, tomatoes, corn, and other crops need picking, cleaning, and preserving immediately. Work often continues from dawn until late evening during peak harvest, canning and freezing produce while also maintaining regular household duties and meal preparation.
Number 8. Amish prayer caps, the silent identity marker. Every Amish woman wears a prayer cap from early childhood until death.
These aren't fashion accessories or optional head coverings. They're mandatory religious symbols worn every waking moment except when bathing or sleeping. The caps come in specific styles that instantly identify which Amish community a woman belongs to. Lancaster County women wear heart-shaped caps with distinctive backfolds. Midwest communities prefer more pleated, practical designs. Swiss Amish use completely different patterns with wider sides and different tie systems. These variations aren't random. They're carefully maintained traditions that help Amish people navigate their complex social world without words. White caps typically indicate unmarried women in many communities, while black caps signal married status, though this varies by region. The caps also mark different stages of life and church membership. Young girls wear smaller, simpler versions. Baptized women wear full-sized caps with specific construction details. Older women might switch to different styles or colors based on local customs. Making these caps requires serious skill. Mothers teach daughters the precise folding, stitching, and starching techniques needed to create the proper shape. Each cap gets hand-sewn using patterns passed down through generations. The fabric must be thin enough to be comfortable but substantial enough to maintain structure. Strings tie under the chin, and the whole thing must stay secure during farm work, cooking, and daily activities. The religious significance runs deep. Based on biblical passages about women covering their heads during prayer, Amish women interpret this to mean constant coverage, since life itself is continuous prayer. Removing the cap in public would be as shocking as appearing naked. It represents humility, submission, and devotion in a single visible symbol. Tourists often try photographing these caps, not understanding they're documenting sacred religious practice, not quaint costume.
Number 7. Amish buggy riding. Women never drive. Amish women ride in buggies, but rarely drive them. Men handle the reins, control the horses, and navigate roads while women sit as passengers. This gender division extends beyond simple tradition into religious principle about male leadership and female submission. Even when traveling alone or with children, most Amish women prefer walking or arranging rides rather than driving buggies themselves. The few exceptions occur in specific circumstances. Widows living alone might learn buggy driving out of necessity. Some communities allow women to drive for short local trips like visiting neighbors or running quick errands. But these situations represent minority cases rather than common practice. The default expectation remains that men drive while women ride. Learning to drive a buggy requires considerable skill. Horses need managing, traffic rules need following, and mechanical problems need fixing. Many communities view these tasks as masculine responsibilities that women shouldn't burden themselves with, similar to how they view heavy farm equipment operation or livestock trading. The practical implications affect daily life significantly. Women depend on husbands, fathers, brothers, or sons for transportation beyond walking distance. Medical appointments, grocery shopping, and social visits all require coordinating with available male drivers. This creates limitations on women's independence and mobility that modern women would find extremely restrictive. Children observe these patterns from infancy. Boys learn buggy driving in their early teens, often handling reins under adult supervision by age 12 or 13. Girls ride along but don't receive similar training unless special circumstances demand it. This reinforces gender roles through practical skill distribution rather than just verbal instruction. The horse and buggy system itself represents Amish rejection of car ownership, but the driving restrictions add another layer of separation. While mainstream society debates whether teenagers should drive at 16 or 18, Amish communities question whether women should drive at all. This position places them far outside contemporary gender equality discussions, maintaining practices that seem almost medieval to outside observers.
Number 6. Amish laundry methods. Washing without electricity. Amish women wash clothes without washing machines, at least not electric ones. They use either hand-cranked wringers, gas-powered washers, or pneumatic machines running on compressed air. Monday traditionally serves as laundry day across Amish communities, with women starting before dawn to complete the exhausting process. Large families generate mountains of dirty clothes, and cleaning them without modern appliances requires serious physical labor and time commitment. The process starts with heating water, often using wood-fired stoves or propane heaters. Multiple large tubs get filled with hot water for washing, rinsing, and final rinsing. Clothes get sorted by color and fabric type, then scrubbed using washboards or non-electric agitators. Heavily soiled items require pre-soaking and extra attention. The physical demands rival gym workouts, with women bending, lifting, scrubbing, and wringing for hours. Wringing out wet clothes takes tremendous hand and arm strength. Hand-cranked wringers help by pressing water out between rollers, but operating them still requires effort. Each piece of clothing goes through multiple wringer passes after washing and between rinse cycles.
Winter washing becomes especially brutal, when wet hands freeze in cold water and outdoor drying means clothes turn stiff as boards. Hanging laundry follows its own rules. Clothes get pinned on long lines strung between poles, often arranged in specific orders. Sheets and large items hang first to catch wind. Smaller pieces fill remaining space. The visual impact of Amish laundry lines creates iconic images. Dozens of identical dark dresses, white caps, black pants, and shirts flapping in the breeze. These laundry lines announce Amish presence more clearly than any sign. Rain or bad weather creates major problems, since indoor drying space limits how much laundry can be processed. Families might wear damp clothes or delay washing until weather improves. The dependence on natural drying means laundry takes at least a full day from start to finish, sometimes stretching into multiple days for large families during humid periods. Modern people complain about spending an hour doing laundry with machines. Amish women spend entire days every single week accomplishing the same task through manual labor.
Number 5. Amish cooking methods. Wood stoves only. Every single meal gets cooked on wood-burning stoves or propane-powered equipment. No electric ovens, no microwaves, no Instant Pots. Families of 8, 10, or 12 people eat 3 times a day using the exact same cooking methods their great-grandmothers used. Planning meals takes hours in advance because there's no dial to turn for instant heat. Wood stoves demand constant attention. The fire needs feeding, temperature gets controlled by adjusting wood and air vents, and timing becomes pure art form rather than simple timer setting. Baking bread in a wood oven requires understanding how heat distributes unevenly and knowing exactly when to rotate pans for consistent results. Summer cooking turns absolutely brutal. Picture standing over a blazing wood stove in 95-degree heat with zero air conditioning, preparing dinner for a dozen hungry people. Kitchen temperatures hit 110 or 120 degrees easily. Sweat pours constantly, but meals still need cooking regardless of weather or personal comfort. Years of this daily practice develop incredible heat tolerance and stamina that would shock most modern people. Meal preparation starts before sunrise. Breakfast cooking begins early since firing up the stove and giving proper temperature takes serious time. Bread baking happens multiple times weekly because large families devour loaves rapidly. Canning season means the stove runs continuously for days, processing hundreds of jars of vegetables, fruits, and preserves for winter storage. Physical demands go way beyond heat management. Hauling wood, carrying heavy cast iron pots, and standing for hours while cooking requires serious strength and endurance. Many develop muscular builds from this constant physical labor that would surprise people who stereotype them as delicate or weak. Modern conveniences like prepackaged foods, microwave meals, or takeout simply don't exist in these kitchens. Every item gets made from scratch using raw ingredients. Pasta gets rolled by hand. Butter gets churned manually. Even simple things like chicken broth require hours of preparation rather than opening a can. Some communities allow propane stoves as compromise between tradition and practicality. These still avoid electricity but offer more temperature control than wood burning. The debate over which technologies get approved continues in many communities, with older members typically resisting change while younger families push for modest modernization.
Number 4. Amish hair rules. Never cut, always covered. Amish women never cut their hair. Not a trim, not a split end fix, nothing. This isn't some beauty trend or personal choice. It's biblical law, taken straight from 1 Corinthians 11. Their hair grows from childhood until death, often reaching past their waist or even down to their knees in some cases. Every single morning starts the same way, brushing out these incredibly long locks, twisting them into tight buns, and pinning everything up before covering it with their prayer cap. The whole routine can take 30 minutes or more, depending on thickness and length. Young girls start learning this process around age 5, practicing on dolls before graduating to their own hair. The weight alone can cause headaches and neck strain, but complaining doesn't change the rules. This hair represents submission to God and church authority. Cutting it would signal rebellion against divine order and community standards. Even trimming for health reasons requires permission from church leaders, which rarely gets granted. The practical challenges are intense. Washing waist-length or longer hair without modern shampoos, conditioners, or hair dryers turns into an all-day event. Most Amish women wash their hair once a week using simple bar soap, then air dry for hours. Winter washing means sitting near wood stoves to speed the process. Summer heat makes the thick buns under prayer caps almost unbearable.
But physical discomfort means nothing compared to spiritual obedience. The hair stays hidden from public view at all times. Only husbands and close female family members ever see it loose. This privacy transforms hair from vanity object into sacred symbol. When Amish women gather privately, they might let hair down briefly for washing or rebinding, but even then, modesty stays paramount. No admiring, no comparing, no discussing beauty. The uncut hair tradition creates visible distinction from modern society. While mainstream women experiment with cuts, colors, and styles constantly, Amish women maintain identical practices their great-great-grandmothers followed. This continuity matters more than individual preference or comfort. Their hair becomes living connection to generations of faithful women who made the same daily sacrifice.
Number 3. Amish aprons, worn every single day. Amish women wear aprons constantly. Not cute, decorative aprons for cooking photos. We're talking full coverage work aprons worn from morning until bedtime, every single day of their lives. These aprons serve as essential uniform components, not optional accessories. They cover the entire front of the dress from chest to hem, providing both practical protection and additional modesty layer. The apron symbolism runs deeper than practical function. Wearing an apron signals readiness for domestic service and willingness to work. It represents a woman's primary role as household manager and caregiver. Removing the apron would feel as inappropriate as removing the dress itself. Even at church services, women wear specially constructed cape and apron combinations that maintain the layered coverage principle. Making aprons follows the same careful process as dress construction. The fabric must match or complement the dress color, the fit must allow movement without bulk, and the ties must secure properly without constant adjustment. Each apron gets hand-sewn using patterns that vary slightly by community but maintain overall consistency. Young girls receive their first real aprons around age 6 or 7, marking their entry into productive household work. These child-sized versions allow girls to participate in cooking, cleaning, and farm chores alongside mothers and older sisters. The apron becomes part of their identity as contributing family members rather than just dependents. Different apron styles indicate different occasions and life stages. Work aprons tend to be slightly longer and more durable, made from heavier fabric that withstands daily labor. Church aprons are more fitted and refined, though still completely modest and plain. Some communities distinguish between married and unmarried women through subtle apron variations, though dress style usually provides clearer marital status indicators. The constant apron wearing creates interesting practical situations. Swimming doesn't happen since removing the apron and dress in public violates modesty rules. Medical examinations require careful navigation to maintain covering. Even sleeping sometimes involves modified nightwear that maintains similar coverage principles.
Number 2. Amish footwear. Black shoes and stockings only. Amish women wear exclusively black shoes. No sneakers, no sandals, no colorful boots. Just plain black leather shoes in simple, practical styles. These shoes feature low heels, closed toes, and lace-up or slip-on designs without any decorative elements. The uniformity is absolute across all Amish communities, making footwear one of the most consistent aspects of their dress code. Stockings or socks must be black or dark colors too, worn year-round regardless of temperature. Even in brutal summer heat, Amish women wear dark stockings under their long dresses. The thick fabrics trap heat, but modesty requirements override comfort considerations. Winter brings different challenges, as thin leather shoes and basic stockings provide minimal insulation against snow and freezing temperatures. The shoe restriction extends beyond color to style and construction. High heels get rejected as vain and impractical. Open-toed shoes expose too much skin. Athletic shoes represent worldly sports culture and modern casualness. The approved styles look nearly identical to what Amish women wore a century ago, preserving visual continuity across generations. Children's footwear follows similar rules. Little girls wear miniature versions of adult shoes, learning from toddlerhood that footwear serves function rather than fashion. Boys wear black shoes too, though their styles differ slightly from women's designs. The whole family shoe collection looks remarkably similar and interchangeable. Purchasing shoes presents challenges, since mainstream stores rarely stock the exact plain styles Amish communities approve. Some Amish areas have specialized shops that cater specifically to their needs, selling pre-approved shoe styles in bulk. Others rely on mail-order catalogs from Amish-friendly suppliers. Women might own just 2 or 3 pairs total. everyday work shoes, church shoes, and possibly winter boots. The limited selection actually simplifies life by eliminating choice and comparison. Maintaining these shoes require regular care. Leather gets polished, soles get repaired, and worn shoes get resoled multiple times before replacement. This frugality extends shoe life far beyond typical modern usage. A well-maintained pair might last 5 or 10 years with proper care.
Number 1. Amish makeup ban. Bare faces always. Amish women never wear makeup. Zero. No lipstick, no mascara, no foundation, nothing. Bare faces from birth to death represent one of the most visible markers of Amish identity. This isn't about personal preference or natural beauty movements. It's absolute religious prohibition based on vanity rejection and humility maintenance. Even clear lip balm for chapped lips can raise eyebrows in stricter communities. The reasoning stems from biblical interpretation about modest appearance and avoiding worldly adornment. Makeup draws attention to individual features, encourages comparison and competition, and focuses on physical appearance rather than spiritual development. These concerns override any practical considerations like sun protection or skin health. Skincare stays minimal and natural. Most Amish women use simple soap and water for cleansing, maybe adding homemade lotions or herbal remedies for specific issues. Store-bought skincare products with anti-aging promises or beauty enhancement claims get viewed with suspicion or outright rejection. The goal isn't improving appearance, but maintaining basic hygiene and health. Sun exposure from outdoor work causes significant skin damage that makeup might help conceal, but coverage isn't an option. Amish women develop weathered, tanned skin from years of farm labor and outdoor chores. Wrinkles, age spots, and sun damage appear early and progress visibly throughout life without intervention. This natural aging gets accepted as God's will rather than problem requiring solution. Young Amish women sometimes struggle with acne, dry skin, or other complexion issues that makeup could address, but cosmetics remain forbidden regardless of medical or psychological benefits they might provide. Some communities allow medicated creams for severe skin conditions, but these must be prescribed by doctors and used strictly for medical rather than cosmetic purposes. The makeup ban extends to nail polish, perfume, and even scented lotions in many communities. Anything that enhances appearance or draws attention through artificial means violates modesty principles. Natural body odor gets managed through bathing in clean clothes, but masking it with fragrances would be considered deceptive or vain.
Still curious? Then don't stop now. The next mystery is already waiting for you. Just click the video on screen. I saved it just for you. See you there, curious one.